What is up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. In this video, I'll be going over my 2 best NBA picks as well as some leans in today's slate. We are just on a generational run, so before we get into the plays, if you guys are new to the channel, every time we sweep, I'm giving away 2 weeks of free VIP and $25 to someone who likes the video, subscribes to the channel, and leaves a comment below. But let's just jump into the recap real quick. So jumping into the recap here, in my last free pick video, I gave you guys Kawhi Leonard over 34.5 points plus rebounds, Jalen Williams over 14.5 points, both of them cash. And if you guys stay tuned to the lean section, we actually hit every single play in the lean section. We hit on Porzingis points, we hit on Josh Giddey RA, and we hit on Nickeil Alexander-Walker over his points and plus assists. The only pick we missed was Ace Bailey over 19.5 points, and that's because he had 3 fouls in 6 minutes in the first quarter. So very unfortunate. He actually got pretty close even with his limited minutes. But yeah, bad variance on Ace Bailey. In the VIP side, we were already up 50 plus units this month, and we went up 4 plus units yesterday. You guys can take a look. We hit this 2-man on underdog, Kawhi Leonard, Jalen Williams. We hit another 2-man here with Keon Ellis over his points, Marvin Bagley over his rebounds. This play right here should have been another 2-man cash. Kale Ware sweat-free drops 12 points. Colin Murray Boyles, he had 12 PRA in the first half, but then unfortunately he gets a back injury, so we get a reboot here. We also have some tennis cashes here. Tennis X NBA play cashes. Also, this tennis play cashes as well. So if you guys are interested in the VIP group, where we post our plays in the Discord, as well as plays sent directly to your phone through the Winnable, you guys can see our members are just cashing out here. You guys can see all the wins just flowing in the Discord from our VIP members. So if you guys are interested, I have linked the Winnable in the pinned comment and the description. I have just restocked free trials, so if you guys want to get a taste of what VIP is like, make sure to take advantage before it sells out, because it always sells out really quick. But let's just jump into today's free picks. So jumping to my first free pick, I'm taking Onyeka Okongwu over 23.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. So jumping into props madness here, the best research tool on the market for researching your NBA player props. If you guys are interested in this tool, you guys can use code BankrollBrian for 25% off. But jumping to my first pick, Onyeka Okongwu. So taking his PRA over 23.5. You guys can take a look. He's gone under in 5 consecutive games. But I think this is the perfect matchup for Onyeka Okongwu to bounce back. You guys can take a look. First of all, with the projected minutes, he's projected to play, in this game, he's projected to play 27 to 37 plus minutes. So with the projected minutes, he's now over in 14 out of his last 21 games, averaging 25.9 PRA. And like I mentioned, he now faces a fantastic matchup against his Kings defense that allowed the second most PRA to his position. You guys know the Kings are one of the worst defenses in the league, obviously. So when Onyeka Okongwu faces a bottom 10 defense allowing PRA to centers, he's now over in 9 out of his last 11 games, averaging 30.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. Now, we do have blowout risk in this game, but first of all, I realize you can't predict blowouts, even though, massive spreads like this. But, even if it's a massive blowout, I see him still playing, 27 to 30-ish minutes. So with 27 to 30-ish minutes, he's still over in every single game with this minute range against, weak defenses against centers, averaging 31 PRA over in last 4 games. And like I mentioned, this is a very soft matchup. The Kings allowed the 3rd most points above the break. They allowed the most points in the paint. Looking at play type analysis, spot up, transition, pick and roll, free throws, putback. You guys can see very, very below, very soft matchup for his play types. Also less than 10 feet. And Yeka scores 53% of his points from that area. And the Kings are allowing the third most points to, yeah, shots less than 10 feet. So overall, this is a very, very good matchup for Nyeka to bounce back here. And also head to head, he already dropped 26 pure rate against the Kings this season, and he only played 21 minutes. So yeah, I really like this spot for Nyeka, taking his pure rate over 23.5. Jumping to my second pick, I'm taking Ty Jerome over 26.5 points plus assists. So Ty Jerome here, I'm taking his points and assists over 26.5 points plus assists. So you guys can take a look. Ty Jerome, the hit rate is not looking too pretty. He's only over in 6 out of the last 15 games, averaging 25.3 points and assists. However, I think this matchup is just, a dream matchup for Ty Jerome here to go over this line. So you guys can see, if you guys take a look, this Bulls defense allows the 4th most points from above the break, which is how he scores 46% of his points. Oh, but also, by the way, guys, Ty Jerome, it says he's doubtful, but I believe, it's not updated. He's doubtful from last game. I'm pretty confident he plays this game. I'm pretty confident he plays this game, by the way. So if you're wondering why, if it says he's doubtful. But yeah, jumping back into the analysis here. So yeah, allows the 4th most, the Bulls allow the 4th most points to above the break. That's how he scores 46% of his points. They also allow the 2nd most points under the rim, where he scores 13% of his points. I mean, you guys can take a look. 7th worst defensive rating. They play at a top 3 pace, which is going to allow for more possessions for Ty Jerome here. And yeah, I mean, I just like the spot for Ty Jerome, against this Bulls team. Like, look at the point total, guys. 245 point total. So the books are projecting this game to be a very high scoring game. So I believe Ty Jerome is going to contribute to that point total. And Ty Jerome, his usage rate is just through the roof. You guys can see on this team, he literally averages a 33% usage rate on this team. The offense is just ran through him. So yeah, he's gonna get the volume. He's gonna get the looks. Also, I like his assists as well. That's why I'm taking the points and assists. Because if you guys look at his assist matchup, over 9 of his last 15 games, averaging 5.7 assists with a 60% hit rate. And yeah, this Bulls defense allows the 2nd most assists allowed, the 4th most assists to his position. How he gets majority of his assists? From under the rim. 34% of his assists come from under the rim. And also, 27% of his assists come from above the break. And this Bulls defense is a bottom 5 defense in assists in both categories. So yeah, I like this spot for Ty Jerome here in this very soft matchup. So yeah, taking Ty Jerome over 26.5 points plus assists. So that's gonna be the 2-man here. You guys can tell us play on chalkboard. If you guys don't have chalkboard yet, you guys can use code BankrollBrian and tell us play directly on the app. Before we get into the lean section, if you guys use my code on chalkboard or any of my affiliate apps, you guys can claim a free month of VIP. Normally VIP is $35 a month, but you guys can join right now. No risk, no commitment. If you guys don't like it afterwards, you guys can just cancel. All you gotta do is use code BankrollBrian on these affiliate apps and text me a screenshot that you deposited with my code, and I'll hook you up with 30 days of free VIP. You guys can also use code BankrollBrian on Picket. Just text me a screenshot to the same number, and I'll also hook you up with 5 days of free VIP. Picket, I really recommend getting Picket because, holds you accountable. It tracks your bets. It shows how much profit you're up. If you guys want to take sports betting seriously, I really recommend getting this app. But yeah, let's just jump into the lean section. So, jumping to lean section in the Spurs versus Bucks game, I like Miles Turner to hit 2 threes today. So yeah, I like Miles Turner to hit 2 threes against the Spurs defense. If you guys take a look, the Spurs allow the seventh most threes to centers. And if you guys take a look at opponent rankings here, you guys can see the season data. They allow the 16 most threes from above the break, but recently, you guys can see like in his last 15, the Spurs now allow the seventh most threes to above the break, and yeah, you guys can see last 10 they allow the fourth most. Actually, they allow the second most threes from above the break. So yeah, and they also, you guys can see the catch and shoot shot type has gotten worse as well. They're a bottom 10 defense against catch and shoot. And that's how Miles Turner scores 63% of his points. If you guys also take a look, Kevin Porter Jr. and Giannis is out. So without these two players, you guys can see he's over an 8 his last 14 games, averaging 2 threes with 57% hit rate. Now he has gone under in four consecutive games, but I think in this spot, I think Miles Turner can knock down 2 threes. I was also looking at Tyrese Maxey. So Tyrese Maxey, he's questionable. He's returning from injury, but I think he can still go over this line. Obviously, the line is lower because he's returning from injury, but he's still projected to play 25 to 35 plus minutes. I think he'll be on a slight minutes restriction, but you guys can see, I mean, the beautiful hit rate. Obviously, he was playing maximum of minutes, but he gets a beautiful matchup against this Hornets team that you guys can see they allow the third most points in the pick and roll, which is how he scores a lot of his points. Also, he had Joel Embiid. We got Joel Embiid back. Tyrese Maxey actually plays better with Joel Embiid. And with Joel Embiid, and you guys can see head to head against this Hornets team, he already went over this line, dropping 43 PRA. Obviously, he played full minutes, but I think he can definitely still go over even in limited minutes. Any other picks I was looking at? I was also looking at Josh Giddey, guys. I really think Josh Giddey, his points has been really inconsistent. You guys can also take his PRA. Because, yeah, RA is not bad as well against this Grizzlies team that, you guys can see, very fast-paced matchup, allows a ton of rebounds, allows a ton of assists. But I also think Josh Giddey can really bounce back on the scoring department as well against this Grizzlies team. He just faces OKC Thunder that, very, very tough matchup for sure. And now he faces one of the easiest matchups in the league that, how he scores his points, 34% of his points come from the restricted area. That's how the Grizzlies allow the second most points in that area. Less than 10 feet, he scores 49% of his points from there. The Grizzlies are also allowing the second most points to shots in less than 10 feet. And I mean, you guys can see all that green on the right side here on Props Madness. Yeah, I really think Josh Giddey can bounce back on the points here. Head to head, he dropped 16 points here in a blowout. He still had good minutes here, but good volume. But yeah, I think Josh Giddey has a great game on the scoring side. But yeah, any other picks I was looking at? Probably not. Gonna be researching more in the VIP side. So if you guys enjoy the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and peace.